What's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. It's your girl, Miss Honey. This is Power. This is season 4, episode 9. That ain't me. Okay. This is the next to the last episode. Episode 10 is the season finale. So we are jamming each one of these last few episodes with as much information and action as we can possibly get into it. So let's jump right into our housekeeping things so we can get into the meat of this episode. First things first, thank you so much to everyone who is new to my channel, who is newly subscribed. I really, really appreciate you. I thank you very much, and I will not take you for granted, I promise. Please remember to subscribe to my channel if you are just stopping by. If you are new, join the tribe. I promise you won't regret it. Remember, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up on this video, as well as comment down below. You guys know the real discussion goes on in the comment section. And I want to just encourage anyone who is just stopping by my video, makes comments. Y'all go through and read those comments and read my responses, and you will see, you will get the spirit of what this channel is all about and the passion that we have for all of our shows. Queen Sugar, Greenleaf, Underground, Jesus Lord, Baby Jesus, please bring Underground back, as well as Power. Okay, you guys, without further ado, let's jump into this episode 9. That ain't me. Let's start off with Tasha. Tasha is talking to Silver. Silver has brought a box over, one of the many boxes that the FBI took when they executed a warrant on Tasha and Ghost's apartment. And as she is putting the things from the box away, the gun and all of that into the safe, Silver goes to ask her a question. She thinks she knows what he wants to talk about, the fact that she is still married to Ghost, and he doesn't want to talk about that. He wants to talk about, I told you in Ghost that Sandoval was going to be at the MCC, and a few hours later he ends up dead. And she's just like, that don't have nothing to do with us. Y'all know Tasha's a rider. A lot of people hated Sandoval. He pissed a lot of people off. Anybody could have killed him. He seems like he stays taking notes on things. I don't trust Silver. I think Silver's up to something. She tells him she's going to open up some more weave shops. She's going to get divorced from James and take any alimony that he gives her and put it into weave shops and build her own empire, have her own money, which she does not have to depend on. Then we see Tasha talking to Keisha. She's talking to Keisha about expanding shops and cleaning up her act and going legit and being done with Ghost. And once again, before she tells her about Silver, she stops just short. Same thing happened last episode. She never gets to really tell Keisha about Silver, but she does ask her about Tommy. How are you doing? That really upset you. I know he really hurt you. And she's like, well, did you know you knew about Tommy all along? She said, yeah, I knew. I'm not stupid. And he told me about it. And Keisha wants to know about Ghost. Girl, no, I'm done with Ghost. I'm done with Ghost, and I'm done with that lifestyle. So they both sort of commiserating about not having their men or moving on from their men, and also moving on from that lifestyle. So then we see Tasha talking with Tommy. Tommy has come in. He is half cocked, and he wants to ask her about laundering some money, washing some money through the weave shop. He needs a quick injection of cash. And she tells him, I'm out. I'm done. What about me, Tasha? She says, listen, I can show you how to launder your own money. I can show you how to clean your own money. It's not that hard. And that way you don't ever have to depend on other people. And Tommy don't want to hear all that. He don't want to hear all that. He's in a hurry. He don't have time for a tutorial. So he goes to get on the elevator, and she asks him real quick about Sandoval. What happened with Sandoval? And he says he had to go. And the elevator's doors closed, and she go on about her business. See, that's what I'm saying. If you really, really want to be legit, Tasha, you wouldn't never want to know the answer to that. You don't need to know the answer to that. Later on, there's a huge event. Instead of Angela going to this event, she instead decides to go and spend some time with Silver. Tasha seems way more invested in Silver than he seems in her. And he seems like he is taking notes on everything that she says. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Angela is at home with Paz. Paz is her sister, and Paz is supposed to be staying with her and just kind of trying to support her and encourage her after this whole Sandoval thing. Paz has been worried about her. Well, Angela worried about her career. She's trying to figure out what it is she's gonna do. Sandoval's position is open, and they have a new person who is over criminal investigations, like the big boss, okay, that is coming in, and she's got to make a good first impression with this big boss. Later on, we see her talking to the big boss, who happens to be a black woman, and Angela kind of tries to schmooze with her a little bit, tries to find some common ground with her because they're both women. And she tells her, listen, this is what I need you to do. I thank you for everything you did with the whole Sandoval case, busting that wide open. That was huge for this office. We would have loved to have had a conversation with him, but unfortunately, we weren't going to be able to do that. Angela tells her, what can I do? How can I help? And the lady tells her, we've got this event, this Justice League event, which really is about celebrating justice. And they're celebrating James St. Patrick because he was considered to be guilty and he was found innocent. And that is supposed to be a win for the Justice Department, that an innocent man was found not guilty is supposed to be a win. And so they're celebrating James St. Patrick. And we need to show our face as a department to this event. I want you to come. And she says, okay, yeah, no problem. I'll be there. And then the HNIC says, hey, listen, Sandoval's position is open now. Who do you think should get it, Mock or Stacks? And Angela wants to know, what about me? Why can't I get it? And she says, come on. HNIC says, come on now. You know you gully. You know you gully. Okay? You know you gully, and you got producer juice all over this situation. If you were me, would you hire you? And Angela has to think about it for a second. Well, she goes, after getting this information, she's all half cocked. She goes and she makes a meeting with Proctor because she's thinking about going to the private sector, maybe being on the defense side now for a while instead of being on the prosecutorial side. And Proctor is okay with it. We could be mavericks. We could do this thing together, and we could make this thing happen. And she gets this real grimy feeling from Proctor, and she decides it's a mistake, and she goes on about her business. Later on, when she's talking to Potts right before the event, do I want to go to the private sector? Do I want to try to make it work at this office? What do I want to do? Private sector would mean more money. And Potts tells her it's not about money, it's about you being happy. Okay? So do what makes you happy. At the same time, there's a knock on the door. Who is it? It's Mock. Mock is dressed, suited, and booted. And after Paz comes on to him a little bit, she goes on about her business, and he comes in and hits Angela with the spiel. Now, he is misogynistic and cocky, and he decides that he is going to get the job. And preliminarily, you know what I'm saying, I want to offer you as a position on my team. You'll be a good, strong. And she's like, what makes you think you're going to get the position? He's like, da. Don't worry about all that. Despite everything that you've done, I'm willing to bring you aboard. She was like, well, you crooked as hell. Why would I want to be on a team with you? And he was like, no, you crooked as hell. And she was like, no, you ain't ish. Okay, we both agree we both ain't ish. And she puts him out. Let's talk about Ghost. We get to see Ghost for the first time when he and Tariq are at Tariq's school. And he has prepared Tariq for the headmaster interview. Tariq aces it. And he learns that the headmaster is going to recommend him for Choate. While they are sitting in the car and talking, they have a good father and son moment. One of the very few father and son moments we see with Ghost and Tariq this season, which saddens me. You guys already know how I feel about Ghost and the kids. So they get to have a conversation about Kanan. If you think Kanan, why aren't you worried about Kanan? Is Kanan going to come back? And Ghost wants to know immediately, has he contacted you? And Tariq says no, but you did snitch on him. And Ghost is like, where you get snitch from? Tariq says, oh, Jukebox told me before y'all came in. I didn't snitch on him. It would have been dumb for me to snitch on him because it would have made me guilty by association. Okay? And Tariq kind of learned something from this because he gets this idea from his father that he is going to stop running and dodging. Great moment. So then we see Ghost is walking and talking with Rashad Tate, as well as a reporter. And the reporter is interviewing Rashad Tate about all of the gentrification that's going on in this neighborhood, and how Ghost is going to play a role in it, and what their overall goal is. And she's excited, and Tate sees someone across the street that he wants to talk to, so he gives Ghost the mic to have it, and he goes on across the street. Now the interviewer's back is to Tate, and she is facing Ghost, and Ghost is facing Tate as he talks to the dude across the street. So he recognizes the dude, and he recognizes there's some sort of camaraderie. Of course, Tate shakes everybody's hand. He puts his hand on everybody's shoulder. He talks, leans in and talks really close. He kids and laughs and appears to be jovial with everyone. Now, we just see these gestures. We don't know what the real conversation he's having with this dude over there. We just see on the outside it looks really good, like he is a man of the people. Well, Ghost gets to talking to this reporter about this being his neighborhood and him jumping at the chance to make this neighborhood a little bit better. And when he was coming along, there was a girl there in the neighborhood who got an opportunity to go to a school called Choate. And she went on to do really, really great things because she got that opportunity to get out. Now, we all know he's talking about Angela, but he doesn't mention her by name. And he tells the reporter that he stayed. He couldn't go. He didn't go. And he made his fortune in a different way. And now he has the opportunity to give back to the community that helped him grow and become the man that he is today. Great soundbite. She commends him on it, turns it into this full-fledged interview, which everybody gets an opportunity to see from everywhere. Now, we get to see this interview eventually. We get to see this interview. Ghost watches it with his family, and they are all very proud. Raina, Tariq, as well as Tasha. Angela got to see the interview too, and later on when she sees Ghost, she mentions it, but we're going to talk about that. Also, there is another person that got to see this interview. Now, we see a small clip that this is a person that Ghost and Tommy. This is a young lady that Ghost and Tommy must have had some violent interaction with, because when she hears that sound bite on TV without turning around, she hears his voice and she hears him speak a little bit in Spanish. It was something that he said in her ear when they were in this violent encounter, and she drops her tray and she knows that voice. She knows that this is the person that assaulted me, assaulted my family, something, whatever it was that happened. I can't quite remember, but y'all put it down below. But she knows his voice. This is going to be a problem for him. This is going to be an issue for James St. Patrick. But let's move forward. Okay, we see Ghost after the whole interview situation with Stern, and Stern is so Trumpish. He tells James that he's New York's favorite black now, and it's so racist. And Ghost just kind of listens, and he's always playing like a little game of cat and mouse. Basically, it boils down to the fact that he is super disappointed that Ghost is still associating with Tate. He doesn't like it. Instead of Ghost making the presentation to the council board to vote on the projects, um, Stern is going to do it. He doesn't want Ghost to do it anymore. And basically, he's like, you're out. The whole reason I brought you into this thing is because you owed me. So you're going to live up to your obligation and be the face of this company, but I'm going to run it. James is like, I thought you was a silent partner. Nah, I can't trust you with this whole Tate situation, so I'm going to run it. You just be silent on the end. So later when we see Ghost talking with Tate, they having a drink and they schmoozing, and Tate is selling it. You know what I'm saying? It's a good day to be alive. Early bird catches the worm. You fall off the horse, you get back on. Like, he is one positive of affirmation after another. You know what I'm saying? With that row of pearly white teeth. And Ghost hits him with the scheme. He tells him, he says, I'm just so confused. I see this contract. I feel like Stern has me by the throat. He has me, locked into this thing. I own 51% of the company, but at the same time, I see financially I'm not being paid. Okay, so Tate looks at it. He was like, don't even worry your pretty little head about it. I'll take care of it. All right. So when we see Ghost and Stern and Tate and all of them are at the council board meeting, and Stern is giving his spiel, and the council board meeting members love it, and they are going to vote on it real quick. Tate stops the whole thing and says, I see on addendum A, page B, that James owns 51%, but he's only getting this small amount. Now, what's going on? Y'all know that this whole situation is contingent upon you, it being a black owner and black owned businesses. And Stern says, no, it's probably an error with my lawyer. We'll figure this out. And so they put a hold on everything until they get the paperwork figured out. Ghost money matches the paperwork, okay, and then they'll move forward with the vote. All right, Ghost feels vindicated. Tate has taken care of everything, and he is seemingly sorta won out on Stern. Then, of course, we see Ghost with his family. This is right before the event. He is sitting there with Raina and Tariq and Tasha, and they are all very, very excited about what is happening and their dad being honored. And Tasha lets on that she's not going to go, and Tommy comes in, and Ghost goes in to have a conversation with Tommy. Tommy is completely half-cocked in this conversation, and Ghost realizes that Tommy is going to be an issue going forward in this conversation. Let's talk about Dre. Dre is the thorn in Tommy's side. He is the stone inside of Tommy's shoe. He's got the premiers worked up. He's got Kanan calling him left and right. He is still working very heavily with Cristobal. The plan is to get Tommy to go half cocked and to everybody that's under Tommy to basically abandon, leave, or him or Tommy to chase away. After all of the premiers deliver all the money to Dre for their drugs, him and Cristobal set the warehouse that Tommy had the drugs hid in on fire. All the product is gone. So the goal is for the premiers to all, back out on Tommy and leave him high and dry. Well, Cristobal is the only one that gets cut loose. He gets cut loose because he was the first one to speak up about leaving Tommy in the situation. But Tommy is able to talk to the other premiers about staying. Y'all know me. Y'all know I've had y'all back. Just give me an opportunity to get y'all some product for the money that you gave, and we'll move on from there. And Dre is right there all along. Every move that Tommy makes, he's got a counter for it. He has gone, so he thinks, a couple of steps ahead of Tommy in every situation. He is there when Tommy talks to the Serbs about getting the money back. He collects that information, and he is also there when Tommy finds out that the premiers are going to leave him anyway, and he fires Dre. And this is what Dre wants. Okay, at the end of all of this, we get to see Dre talking with Cristobal in the car, and Cristobal, they're super proud of what they have accomplished. At the same time, Kanan has been calling Dre, and he is telling him, don't make me find you about my money and talking about this business, this work we finna do. Don't make me find you, okay? Well, Dre has decided that he's got Tommy on the run. He's got everything he wants. He cannot deal with a ninja like Kanan. So he sent two dudes to go kill Kanan at this old lady house. It ain't Kanan's apartment. It's the old lady he killed apartment. But the two dudes are there. And of course, Kanan makes quick work of them. Cacao, dead, done. Okay, Kanan's gonna be a problem. See, Dre thinks he's won, but now he's gonna see that he is in over his head, way over his head. Now let's talk about Tommy. Tommy being hit from all sides. First of all, he's talking to Terese on the phone, and Terese is giving him love, adoration, and manipulation. Tommy thanks him for what he did with Sandoval. And Teresa tells him, I want you to come see me, but I'm a felon. I can't come see another felon. And he says, no, you can. They do it for immediate family members. How can I prove that you are my dad? Talk to your mama. And Tommy's upset with his mama, which Teresa low-key tries to squash, but not really. He's a master manipulator. And plus, he sees already that family is important to Tommy and that he is looking for that family connection. He can hear it in Tommy's voice, all right? And so he's playing off that. Tommy goes over to his mama's house and ramshackles it. He threatens her. He manhandles her, forces her to show him the paperwork that proves that Teresa is his father. He learns that Teresa is not only his daddy, but he was at the hospital when he was born, and he signed the birth certificate, and he gave Tommy his last name. And she explains to him, I changed your last name because he wouldn't divorce his wife. What he wanted was me to give him you, and he and his wife raised you, and you were my baby. I wasn't going to do that. Tommy don't care. He don't care. Right before she told him where the paper was, he had her yoked up with one hand after he done destroyed her stuff, ramshackled her house. He got her yoked up by the throat, and he says, what do you think happened to Holly, Mom? And she was like, and she's looking at Holly's ring around his neck. That's when she tells him where the paperwork is. Now, so she's down on the floor. She has slid down the wall, and she is crying, and she is shaking, and she is holding this little porcelain doll, that the only one that he hasn't broken up, like it's Tommy, like it's her baby. Okay, she's holding this little doll. And I don't want you to mess with Teresa. He's a criminal and a murderer. He says, I'm a criminal and a murderer, Mom. And she's like, and he tells her, I don't mess with you no more. I don't F with you no more, mama, ever. I don't want to deal with you more. I don't want to know you. He takes her stash of cocaine and he goes gets her car. Now he gets into his car and puts a little mountain of white snow on his hand and sniffs it up. And then we see his eyes go to crazy mode. Every end of every season, we see high, half-cocked Tommy. This is no different. This season is no different. So high, half-cocked Tommy is on deck. Tommy learns that the warehouse product has been burnt to the ground. He tells Dre that he's going to go talk to the Serbs and see if the Serbs will comp him some more dope, as well as help him go to war with the Jimenez. Okay, this is all a part of Dre's plan. We talked about that. Well, when Tommy goes to talk to the Serbs are like, boy, if you don't get the hell, you don't have no product. We're not spotting you no more product. Obviously, you don't know what you're doing. And Tommy is still high. He is like, he's trying to hold it in the road, though. And still trying to hold it in the road. The Serbs tell him, listen, you get some money and bring some money, we'll give you some product. We ain't comping you no product. And I'm thinking twice about you being the East-West Coast Connect. Oh, no. Don't worry about it. It's a good deal. I get the money, I get the product, and we'll move on from there. So then we see where Tommy goes over and talks to Tasha, and she tells him she is out of the money laundering game. He's high and half cocked for that. We see him in the dark pull up next to Keisha. I thought for sure he was gonna kill Keisha, but he was trying to talk her into continuing to launder the money for him. All under the guise that I'm sorry, I fell off, I had to go out of town, and all this stuff. He's high for all of this, and there's a part of her that senses that he is high, he is desperate, and he is half cocked. She gets out of the car, thank you, Lord, and walks off. After she tells him off, this ain't me, I don't do this. Okay, I'm not that girl that you finna use and abuse. All right, good moment. He leaves Keisha and he goes and he talks to Ghost. Now, this is the night of the event. Ghost takes him back into the office and has to have a conversation with him. Now, Ghost tells him off the rippity, I don't appreciate you coming to my house. You're high as hell. Don't come here like that no more. And what's going on with you and Teresa? Why are you still talking to Teresa on the phone? This guy is no good. He is up to no good, I promise you. And Tommy's offended. One, because he high, and two, because he so desperately want to be a part of a family. And he tells Ghost, don't you ever talk about my dad. He's the only one that has my back. Like, he is not thinking clearly. It's the same issue did with Holly, and ended up having to kill Holly. I'm mighty afraid you might end up having to kill your daddy too, but we're not going to jump too far ahead into season 5. All right, so he gets violent with Ghost, headbutts him. He wants a check for the money that him and Kanan took, and some other money to him. I need that money. I need that money now. So when he gives him a little headbutt, Ghost tells him, you haven't done that since you were 14 and you left a scar. I'm not going to do this with you too many more times. He goes over and writes the check for Tommy and gives him the check. And before Tommy leaves out, Tommy tells him, listen, I have not authorized you to do anything to my father. If you make a move on my father, I swear I will kill you this time. Okay. Okay, so you finna trade off everything you have known for years, the person you have known for years, the person who has always had your back, for a man that you have known a week, 2 weeks. Okay, Tommy. All right, no problem. Now, Tommy also goes over to see Teresa, and he tells Teresa when he sees him in the jailhouse, they're so excited to see each other. They think they look just alike, and all this, that, and the third. And Teresa wants to know, Tommy, what do you need? You need anything? What can I help you with? And Tommy says, I'll tell him. I want to know my family. I want to know the rest of my family. I want you to introduce me to them. And we realize here begins the divide. Okay, here begins the great divide between Tommy and James. Okay, you guys, let's talk about this event real quick. This event brings together a whole cavalcade of characters. We see Stern there, as well as Rashad Tate, of course, Ghost, Angela's there, Mock, Stacks, and the HNIC. First, we see Stern. Stern is not 100% happy with Ghost and how he did things, and Ghost poo-poos it, and he says, "I had no idea that Tate was going to do that, and I'm sorry, but I'm glad we was able to work it through." And Stern is not hearing that. He said, "When are you gonna learn to trust me? You ever think about why Cantos didn't testify? Okay, you gonna learn to trust me. I don't care nothing about your criminal past. What I care about is making money with you going forward. But I see you got to learn the hard way. You're gonna have to learn to trust me." And Ghost doesn't really know what to make out of that. We also see Stacks and Mock kind of eyeballing Ghost. Angela come in. As soon as she comes in, Ghost's panties get wet. The minute he sees her, his panties get wet. I mean, he has a thing for Angela that cannot be stopped, even by betrayal. And she comes up and she whispers something to the HNIC, and the HNIC takes the podium, and she's standing there, and James is standing just behind her. He speaks to her, and she sees him, she acknowledges him, and she gives him the one finger. She says, just give me a moment. And she's waiting for the HNIC to make her speech. HNIC gets on stage, and she's glad to be there. She's glad about justice and American way and yada, yada, yada. And she wants to make an announcement who is going to be in charge, the new person in charge of the criminal investigation division of the prosecutorial office. And Mock don't even wait for her to get it out of her mouth good before he starts to walk up on stage. And when he starts to walk up on stage, she calls Angela Valdez's name out. Now, I don't know what happened with Angela and this woman. What happened between the time that Mock was at her apartment and she was talking to her sister Paz, I don't know. But somehow she has wiggled her way into this, in Sandoval's old position, and she is now the new HNIC. It's crazy. She goes up on stage to try to make a little speech and accept the position and all that. And Mock and Stacks are over it. They are outdone. They cannot believe it after all she has done. It just that she's ended up with this position. Okay. Later on, we get to see Angela and James talk. They're on the stairwell. It's some tender moments where she grabs his hand and touches his hand, and she wants to really talk to him about that interview. He congratulates her for the position and all that, and she says, "I thought it." He says, "Yeah, I'm trying to go on the straight and narrow." And she says, "You had an opportunity to go to Cho." I remember he told a story about Cho and Angela. He didn't mention her name, but he still told a story. And she said, "You had an opportunity to go to Cho too. You too had an opportunity, but you said you didn't want to go because you didn't want to leave Tommy behind." But I just wonder how things would have been a lot different if you had gone and down this different path. He says, well, there's no way for us to know our own path to take, so on and so forth. And she gives him a kind little touch on the hand. She wishes him well, he wishes her well, and she goes on up the stairs. He watches her go on up the stairs, and she kind of looks back a little bit. I was like, oh, it kind of seems like a breakup, but it's part of me that realizes even if it's 2 seasons from now, they're gonna come back together. All right. At the same time, Tate comes up the steps with this dude that was the dude across the street that he went to talk to when they was doing the interview, right? And Ghost recognizes him. When he introduces the dude to Ghost, he says, this gonna be your new liaison to such and such and such and such. In other words, this the dude that's gonna be inside your camp watching you. He's gonna be me inside your camp. Whatever I need, he gonna make sure it get done. This is what he basically telling Ghost. And Ghost realized you the dude from across the street, and he is so dry to Ghost. And Ghost at that moment realizes what's happening. So you didn't get, you got. All right? You in bed with the devil. It's at this moment he realizes that Tate ain't no good. That Tate is going to be an issue. Let's talk about Tariq real quick. Like I said, Tariq did an excellent job thanks to his father and thanks to his lineage of lying and deceiving. He did an excellent job talking to headmaster, convincing the headmaster that he needs to come to Choate. He is all the while that he is trying to get into Choate and do all these other things, he is getting constant texts, a barrage of texts from Brains and Big Country. They still trying to get at him. They're still trying to find him. So when he is playing basketball after the headmaster thing and talking to his dad in the car, he is playing basketball in the school gym, in walk Brains and Big Country. Of course, Tariq played it cool. And they question him. We've been trying to contact you. Why haven't you called me back? I've been busy. Well, what's going on? We thought you went to the police. And he's like, I ain't no snitch. What you mean you ain't no snitch? I ain't no snitch. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with y'all, going to the police will be make me guilty by association. So they look at each other. They're like, oh, okay, this little ninja smart. And they buy it all. He also haphazardly mentions Ray Ray. In which case, Brain said, you talking to Ray Ray? He was like, nah, I'm just saying. Ask Ray Ray about me. He know I ain't no snitch. All right. So he asked about his money. They say we got it in the works, and they go on about their business. Later on, we see them counting the money up. Okay, and smoking out at they spot, and Ray Ray is there. Ray Ray, y'all know, is a police officer. He was right up there with Jukebox. But he questions them about Tariq and how everything went down. They cop to it. They claim it. He says, I don't know how much I can cover up about this situation because, it's a lot of extenuating circumstances. So he needs to rectify the situation, which he does. He gets up like he is leaving, and he shoots, Brains in the head, kills him dead. Before Big Country can take 2 steps, bow bow, shoots him in the back and kills him. Then we get to see Raina. Raina at school, minding her business. She is doing her schoolwork, and in walks the principal and a police officer, full uniform. It's Ray Ray. And at this time, he's Raymond Thomas, right? And the principal lets her know that he's looking for Tariq. And she says, what happened? What's going on? Is he in trouble? No, he's not in trouble. We just want to ask him some questions. Now, all of this is done in front of the classroom where they do that at, but I digress. All right. So she tells him he's not at school today. I tell him you're looking for him. He's like, okay, no problem. He go on about his business. Later on, Raina goes and talks to Tariq. Now, Tariq is high as all get out. He is basically passed out for the most part because he been over at Destiny's talking about the address of the school and her coming to visit him and bring him some lean and all this, that, and the third. And she all schmoozing up with him, and he think he for real got a girlfriend, okay? But she just his lean connect, basically. So Tariq is passed out high from lean, and Raina goes to wake him up, and she says, get up, get up, get up. There was a cop looking for you earlier today. And what was his name? His name was Raymond Ray Ray. He's a dirty cop. What's going on, Tariq? Tell me. What can we do? We should tell mom. It's like he was the guy that tried to kidnap me with Canaan. Oh my gosh, Tariq, let's tell mom and let's just and he was like, no, I'll handle this. He's very, very dangerous. We want to keep Our family's safe. We have to keep this secret. Okay, can't tell anybody. They fist bump on it. Of course, like I said, Ghost has got this event. This event is to celebrate his his freedom and his innocence. Okay, and Raina and Tariq the same night have a school dance. Okay, so when they get to the school, everybody's hugging Tariq. We're sorry to see you go. Wooda wooda wooda. Now, Raina, although it was her idea to go to Choke, she doesn't get accepted. She's still happy for Tariq because she knows Tariq need to get out of the city. At the same time, she gonna miss Tariq. She tells Tariq this is gonna be the last, um, you know, birthday that we have together. We're not gonna be able to spend our birthday together this year. And she's just trying to have a moment with Tariq, a brother sister moment with him. But he started getting texts from Destiny on the phone. Now Destiny has already called him earlier on. And even though he acted like he didn't want to talk about it with her, what happened when the lady got killed, she kind of tricks him into talking about it a little bit. And he gives her a snippet. And we realize at that moment that it is Ray Ray that is forcing her to chide him for information. And when he gives up that information, it's kind of like confirmation for Ray Ray that he is going to talk at some point to somebody, and he got to go, just like Brains and Big Country. He, instead of him talking to Raina and conversing with her and having like this brotherly sister moment with her, he's getting these texts from Destiny saying she's there, she's outside with the lean. He goes out back to meet her. He's calling for Destiny. Oh, Destiny, are you there, Destiny? And I'm like, yeah, your Destiny is there, all right. Up walks Ray Ray. He hooded. And Tariq is frightened. Ray, listen, I don't tell anybody. I've never told anybody I won't snitch. He was like, nah, little man, I know you won't snitch. At the same time, pulls out a gun. Tariq knocks the gun down and knocks him down and runs off. He runs off. He goes to this gate. Can't get through this gate. He gets down low behind this brick wall, and he's hiding while Ray Ray is looking for him. And Ray Ray looking for him everywhere. And Tariq is kind of listening. And he hears Raina. Raina confronts Ray Ray. Hey, aren't you the officer that came to talk to my brother earlier? And Ray Ray like, oh, yeah. I'm just on my way inside now to talk to the principal. And Essa, cut the crap, sir. You're a criminal. You leave my brother alone. I know what's going on. I know you're a crooked cop. You leave my brother alone. You keep your hands off of him. Leave our family alone. And as soon as she gets done with that spiel, he pulls the gun up, and just like that, he kills her. He shoots Raina dead. And I promise y'all, when she fell over, it was like he just said, and she falls dead. Ray Ray runs off. Tariq runs up. Raina gets down there. He's trying to wake her up. Raina gone. Raina gone to be with the Lord. She took a bullet to the heart. She's going to be with Jesus. All right. It's a horribly sad moment. The song that they was playing in that moment, I'm sorry, you couldn't help it. You can't help but get emotional over it. Like, this is what happens when tangled webs we weave. First we practice to deceive. It's the innocent that gets hurt in this, and we get to see Raina has taken the full brunt, not only of what Tariq has done, what her father and her mother and her uncles have done in this life of crime. Ultimately, Raina is the one that has paid for it. And it's a sad moment in Power history. Okay, you guys, that is it for Power. Like I said, it was jam packed. What do you guys think about Raina? This is going to catapult Ghost into a place where the whole family really into a place where the violence is probably going to be epic. What do you guys think about Tommy and this whole Teresa thing, and Tommy being back getting high and of course half cocked? What do you guys think about Angela being the new HNIC? Like, season 5 is going to be crazy, right? This whole Tariq situation. He really felt like he had taken care of all the loose ends. He, like Dre, doesn't realize how over his head he is. And he, like Dre, it is going to end up regretting it colossally. Fortunately, Dre's going to lose his own life, but unfortunately, Tariq has lost Raina. You guys let me know what you thought about this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, honeybees, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Mwah. I'll holla.